I have no idea what was going on upstairs.
Right.
There was nothing but a sin bin.
In the beginning, he's right, because in the beginning when I came here, each of the rooms upstairs was designated for one of the musicians in the band, and one was a bedroom. In each room would be all the guys' gear and all this sort of stuff. There was a crash room up there. And the thing we found out after the fact was that anything that went on in that room showed up on tape, because the room was next to the trap that was above the control room. So any mics, any room mics, things like that, there would be all kinds of things like that. I don't know if there is any record that was recorded here where we didn't have to mute the room at one point or another. And, everybody, at one point or another, everybody got, sloppy drunk and crazy, at one point or another.
Yeah, we did have a few of those evenings.
Yeah, yeah. But, it was all in good fun.
It was fun.
It was, there was never anything like...
There were never any fights. We were always...
Right,
everybody was happy.
That's the truth. There were no arguments. There were no fights. Nobody was working against anyone else. There was... there was a point where George lived up on the third floor, and Greg Morgan, Weasel, was staying in that room on the second floor, and Todd the Ride, he's a guitar roadie.
Yeah.
And he would come back here. He would go down to town and come back with usually multiple women.
Most of the time, I think he said, three's too many, two's ideal,
and
one will do.
And we'd all have to like just get scarce, because you can't hang out with Todd when you got going like that. So but he used to fight with Weasel for the room, and poor Weasel was living in the room. It wasn't that long of a time, but that's the only disagreements or arguments that I remember in the history of it.
Sin bin. It was, like I said, it's a sin bin. Boogie.
But he was the one. Yeah, right. And he didn't even live in town or anything. He'd come, he'd hang for a few weeks before the tour would start, and those were always interesting times when the band was getting ready to go on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Roger? Any story that stands out above any others?
Well, my wife and my girlfriend are here, so I can't talk about that sort of thing. I was happily married at the time, I think.